So as you guys know, a few weeks ago, I made 2 videos talking about how I thought Season 6 for MCC was probably going to be the best season we had had yet. And unfortunately today, I'm here to tell you that I think now Season 6 is probably just going to be another fairly average, fairly disappointing season. So let's just talk about why. So to kind of get the gist of how Season 6 went from what I thought was going to be one of the best seasons that the Master Chief Collection has had to honestly just another average season like we had in Season 5, where we mostly just got cosmetics and challenges and whatnot. This is kind of what happened. We were originally slated to get a whole bunch of new cosmetics, probably new challenges, 2 new Halo 3 maps that came from Halo Online, 1 that had been playable in Halo Online, and 1 that had not been, or at least I had never played it before. We were also supposed to get a customs game browser, view model adjustments for the different guns, along with other changes like FOV features on consoles, double keybinds for mouse and keyboard, and some other various quality of life things. So what happened is if you played the flight a few weeks ago, you'll kind of know that the build was pretty rough around the edges. Both Waterfall and Edge actually had a lot of issues and didn't perform all that well. The custom games browser also didn't even make it into the flight, and the view model adjustments were pretty bland, although I think they kind of got the job done. But as you see in the blog post, they talk about how players gave them feedback saying that we wanted more, and I kind of agree with that. In the flight, you are really only able to move the gun up and down, where most people kind of imagined view model adjustments where you can kind of move the gun wherever you want. If you want the gun to be in the middle, like classic Doom, you could do that. If you wanted left-hand view models, you could do that. Or if you just wanted the standard view model, but you wanted to pull the gun down a little bit so it blocked less of the screen, you could also do that. Unfortunately, like I said, in the flight, the view model adjustments only allowed you to move the gun up and down on the right, and so some of the player feedback was just that wasn't necessarily exactly what we wanted, and so 343 took that, and as you can see in the blog post, have decided to delay that feature so that they can work on it more and kind of flesh it out a bit more. Totally understand that, but obviously kind of a bummer. We also already kind of knew, but the custom games browser is not going to be coming in Season 6, and we don't have a confirmation whether it's going to be in Season 7 or in a later season. This, in my opinion, was one of the biggest features of Season 6, as it's been a feature that we've been asking for since before the game even dropped, and it would just allow players that don't necessarily have big friend groups or Discord servers to be able to play custom games, or even if you're in Discord servers and you have big friend groups that play custom games, this would just allow you to hop into the game and find the customs that you want to play. So it's definitely a huge bummer that the custom browser isn't coming in, but that's not it, right? So before we were supposed to get those 2 new maps, Edge and Waterfall. During the flights, we learned that Edge actually had a lot of optimization issues, and that wasn't going to make it in Season 6, so that was already known. However, we thought that Waterfall was going to be able to be fixed and be ready for Season 6, and this blog confirms that Waterfall is only going to be in Season 6 in custom games. So this means you're not going to be able to play in matchmaking, whether it be ranked or social. To me, this is actually a huge bummer because unless you have those groups of people that play custom games, you're not going to really get to play Waterfall. You might be able to hop on it and run around a bit, but unless you really go out of your way, you're not going to see Waterfall, especially with the lack of the custom game browser that also isn't coming in Season 6. So these are kind of like the main features that aren't going to make it. As far as I know, most of those quality of life features that I didn't talk about are going to make it, and all the cosmetics are still going to make it into the season. And I do want to say that I understand, I want them to get these features right before they release, but regardless, I think it's still a pretty big bummer that they're not going to be here in Season 6, because like I mentioned at the start of this video, this went from a season that was probably the season I was most excited for to just another pretty average MCC season where I might hop in, do some challenges, and that's about it, because there's really nothing new there to kind of pull people back in. Not only that, I kind of want to talk about the ramifications that this could have on the future of the Master Chief Collection. I don't know if 343 has a set plan for the rest of the seasons, but as you know, we are slated to get 10 seasons of content for MCC, and then the future beyond that is unknown. So in my head, with these major features getting pushed back, with the custom games browser and those maps being pushed back to, let's say, Season 7, maybe even Season 8 if they don't get them done. That means that Season 7 and Season 8, content that was maybe going to come out during those seasons is now going to get pushed further back, if that kind of makes sense. To me, logically, this just means by the time we hit Season 10, there's probably going to be less content that comes out for the Master Chief Collection than would have come out if these features were ready. One big feature that comes to mind besides, the standard maps and game modes and guns that could come out is mod support. Are we still going to get mod support before MCC is kind of end of lifed? I really, really hope so, and they haven't necessarily said that we haven't, but they also haven't confirmed or even talked about mod support in a while, as they've been focusing on things like the custom game browser and the new maps, etc. One thing that I think a lot of people would also like to see is content that isn't Halo 3. I love Halo 3, and I'm glad to see Halo 3 getting new maps and everything, but I think people would love to see some new Halo Reach maps, maybe even some new H2A maps. Hell, maybe even some new Halo 2 Classic maps. Basically anything, right? One of the big pros of the MCC is it's this really cool and varied package. And unfortunately, as the seasons have gone on past the original releases, we've mostly gotten Halo 3 content. Now, I totally understand that because Halo 3 is the most played game in the collection, but I think there are fans for those other games, or even fans that are playing Halo 3 that would probably check out content if it was created for those other games. Anyways, guys, that's going to kind of do it for the video. I just wanted to talk about how Season 6 went from being this amazing season that I was really excited for to just another pretty average, pretty meh season. And to me, that's a huge bummer. Like I said earlier in the video, I totally understand and I want them to make sure these features are ready before they release them. But if we're being honest, these features do keep getting pushed back, and they keep getting pushed back, and they keep getting pushed back. So at what point are we actually going to get the features? And by the time we get them, does it really even matter? I know that personally, I'm probably not going to care about a custom game browser if we get it a month before Halo Infinite comes out or something like that. Whereas if we got it now, it could hold me over for a lot longer than if we get it right there toward the end. Also, are we still going to get as much content as maybe 343 had originally planned? I don't know if they have a roadmap on their end for the content for the rest of the seasons, but if they did, and I would assume they have something, whether it's rough or it was like really solidified, content that was probably now slated for season 7 or season 8 probably got pushed to season 9 or 10. So did content for season 9 or 10 just kind of get thrown away for now, unless by some miracle they are able to complete some of these features quicker? I think that's a good question to ask. Obviously, I don't want this to be some super negative video, so I'm still kind of excited for season 6. I'll still check it out. You know, I felt like sharing my opinion, so that's kind of it. If you guys want to catch me live, I've been streaming over on Twitch Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, and Saturday nights, mostly playing Halo. So come on over and check that out. It's been pretty awesome. You guys have been showing a lot of support, and I really appreciate that. You can also follow me on Twitter. With that said, I'll see you all next time.